Hey, this is Charles for Premier Guitar. I'm at the LA Amp Show 2011, and this is not Hall of Fame second baseman Joe Morgan, but Joe Morgan nonetheless. And he's got some pretty sweet amps in his own name, Morgan Amplifier Company. Is it Morgan Amplification?
Morgan Amps.
Morgan Amps. Yep.
Anything. Just,
Amplifiers by Morgan, and here they
that
are. Here they are. Here they are. So what do you got here?
I have a bunch of things that make things louder, and I really have been trying hard this year to come out with a new model every 2 weeks. This is the GOAT 40. This is Josh Smith's signature amp. Josh and I have been working hard on it. Josh he's a really picky bastard, and he is great to work with and just a joy. I love having him use my products. But the GOAT particularly is a super reverb style amplifier. Is the way it feels and breaks up and volume wise. But Josh has always been a big fan of that 3-knob Fender reverb tank, but he didn't like running it into the front end of the amp. So what we've done here is I've got a parallel system running so that hey, if that's my mom, I'm not here. I've got a parallel 3-knob reverb running in parallel with the super reverb circuit. So he can gain out, he can break up that preamp section, he can get that going, but the reverb will always stay big and lush and full. And just actually, it worked out really well. I'm surprised that I got it done in time for the show, but as you heard with Josh playing it, it's a phenomenal sounding amplifier.
Yeah, man, let's hear more. Hey, while Joe's talking to his mom, what do you think of this thing, Josh?
I'm really excited about it. I met Joe about a year ago. I was looking actually for the best Vox style amp. I'm a super reverb guy at heart, but my favorite rig is a super and a Vox AC30 together. And I found Joe, and he built this amp for me, the Dual 40, which is a Vox style circuit. And it blew me away so much, but also Joe personally, I just instantly hit it off with him. You can tell he's not very funny. He's real and straight ahead guy, but so he's easy to deal with. But yeah, we just hit it off, and I had an idea for this amp that I'd wanted built for a long time, and I gave him the directive of what I was looking for, and I said basically it has to be the greatest amp of all time. So we named it the GOAT.
Why'd you call the greatest amp of all time the GOAT?
Exactly, greatest of all time.
There you go, sweet. Clever dudes here at Morgan Amps, I tell you.
Yeah, we don't like to boast, so we try to be as humble as possible, and that was the other
stuff under wraps.
Yeah, we were gonna call it the Humble 40, but we didn't want to be confused with Dumble and then the whole legal thing. And then it's like, yeah, but anyway.
Tricky business amplifiers. All right, well, you got some other stuff over here, right?
Yeah, and my quest again to keep an new amp every 2 weeks.
That with the number of amps in this room, that doesn't quite add up. I mean,
I have some out in the car. I rotate.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Yeah, I drive a tour bus. Yeah. That's been hollowed out, and it just it's like a giant white panel van now. This is the AC20. AC20 has actually been around in all seriousness for about a year and a half. It was never intended to be seen by anybody, but it was one of those amps I built for myself and a prototype. Because I was playing one weekend and I didn't have an amp, and I was like, okay, I have these parts. This is the kind of the tone I want. And I'm a real big fan of the normal channel of an AC30. AC30 though is too loud to play just about anywhere, and seems like all the boutique companies at the time were everybody's doing top boost channels, and top boost is cool if you're that top boost guy, but I'm not. I needed something that was voiced a little bit darker, that worked with a pedal board, that, and it was also AC15 isn't loud enough for me, and AC30 is too loud. So I needed the extra clean headroom. I had Mercury actually design an output transformer for me, and I beefed up the power section in it. So it's an AC20, but it's really about 23 watts. So 20's been out for a while. This is actually the AC20 Deluxe. It's like the Mick Royale with cheese. This one actually has all of the features that anybody's ever asked me for in the AC20. Hey, I like the AC20, but can you add an EF86? Yes. Hey, I like the AC20, but can I get like a bass cut switch? Yes. Hey, I like the AC20, but it's still too loud. Can you add power scaling for me? Yes.
So, is there a kind of like some kind of online portal or means by which people can monitor your prodigious output?
Yeah, I prefer the website morganamps.com over, say, like joemorganamplifiers.com or even longer ones like thejoemorganamplifiers.com. So I went with morganamps.com, figuring that was going to be the shortest URL to actually type in, being that I've got these super fat fingers and like, you know, keyboards and I don't really get along. But.
That's clever stuff too. So, is there like a in-shop camera too, so people can make sure that you're remaining chained to the bench and maintaining your
No,
your
actually,
work rate?
because of labor laws in the state of California, I actually can't have a camera in my shop. I use underage Vietnamese women to actually build all of these amplifiers, and I'm trying to keep that on the DL. So if you wouldn't mention that, would be great.
Okay, we won't be mentioning that. From the LA Amp Show, this is Charles.